What's up, everyone? It is your girl GelBeauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today is time for another underrated versus overrated. So I actually got a few face products and lip products in addition to eyeshadow palettes, as opposed to this just being about eyeshadow palettes. So every once in a blue moon I find a few things that I feel like is besides eyeshadow palettes that are comparable, so I figured I would show them to you today since I actually had a decent amount. Like I got a stack of eyeshadow palette, I got lip liners, I got highlighters, I got lipsticks. So without further ado, girl, let's get into it. So the first underrated versus overrated I feel like are these highlighters. So this is the Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Mesmerize, and then I have the Tom Ford one in Rose Iris, I believe it is. So y'all know I told y'all these were super expensive and I compared them to some other highlighters I already own, but I noticed that I feel like even like the glitteriness of the Rare Beauty one I feel like was still somewhat similar to the Tom Ford one, which is why I wanted to make sure I pointed it out and showed it, because it has definitely more of that metallic finish like the Tom Ford one did, and the other ones I showed you all I felt like were a little more glittery like the Dior sets. So I wanted to show these side by side to see what you think. I feel like they're pretty close in tone. I feel like the Tom Ford one is a little bit more pigmented, but you know, like, see, this is the Rare Beauty and this is the Tom Ford. So Tom Ford is like that much more pigmented, but they both still give like that same sheen, that same finish. So like, why spend Tom Ford price when you can just go grab the Rare Beauty one? That might be why they was selling out constantly, because you know, it's a great product at an affordable price. But I definitely want you all to see the difference. I'm gonna try to start doing shorts, reels on stuff like this too, to get like, you know, you interested and do like my top favorite ones in the video, and then let you all watch the actual like video for the rest of them. I don't know, we'll have to see though, depends on how I feel, because I'm trying to come up with more shorts ideas, because I feel like people were getting into the shorts, but it's like I don't really film a lot of stuff that revolves around shorts content, so it's hard for me to like do that, if you will. Anyway, next, now I don't feel like these are exact, but I know this was a limited edition product and you all have seen me using it and actually liked it on my lips. So I have this underrated versus overrated. Unfortunately, like this one is actually sold out and they don't make this anymore, because the Strawberry Shortcake collection was holiday for last year, but I found a way to finally make it work for me, so I've been wearing it. But I feel like this Pat McGrath is a good alternative for someone of my skin tone who would like it, and y'all know her lipsticks are on sale pretty frequently, so you can get this one for like still not as good a deal as like the what do you call it would be. This is the shade Amore, by the way, from Pat McGrath. It's a nice creamy trans matte lipstick, and then this is just Strawberry Shortcake. It doesn't have a name, but they don't look exact on, but I feel like because this is like a white based lipstick, it doesn't look the best on someone of my skin tone, and so that's why I'm like showing you this one as an alternative. I know it doesn't look exact, but I'm telling you, like on the lips with the lip gloss I use with this, they look pretty similar, so I figured I'd go ahead and show it. If you don't want to count that one as the dupe, that's fine, but you know, I was here, you were here, we were all here, so I figured I'd just go ahead and show it to you. So now I can take this one back home, because I've been missing it because I like to use it pretty regularly. So the next lipsticks I have, an underrated versus overrated, is of course my Call Me Peaches from Hendash. Y'all know this is one of my favorites. This is actually my new backup I brought here just to leave for this video. This is what the color looks like. And then I have the Friday the 13th collection, because if you all remember correctly, I told you it looked just like my shade Peaches from Hendash, and I'm about to show you like side by side. They literally look like just about the same shade. Look at that. Like, they are pretty similar, and on the lips they look like the exact same. Now I'm not gonna swatch it because this is my new one. If I had brought my old one, then I'd have swatched it for you, but like this is one I'd like put in the reel so you can see swatches in comparison of the product. But yeah, like I'll swatch it this time. It's just a nice little peachy matte shade, a peachy lipstick shade that I love, and I definitely think like it's a great alternative to the Hendash, because Hendash is so high. I'm gonna take this back home now because my other one is getting low, and I'm gonna have to start using this soon, because I'm telling y'all, this is one of my all-time favorites. So when I found a dupe to it, I just had to share it with y'all, because the Hendash one is almost $30. I think it's like 27 bucks or something. I'm like, honey, that is high. Okay, that is high. So next, underrated versus overrated, I have these lip liners from ABH versus the ones from e.l.f. They're just as creamy and nice, and they have the same amount of like tug and pigmentation. And I feel like the colors are actually quite similar. As you can see, the color's on the bottom here, and the color is on the tube when it comes to Too Faced. So I'm going to start with the shade Malt. That's the darker one from ABH. And then I'm going to swatch the e.l.f. one next to it. And I feel like the colors are pretty on point too, which is another reason I wanted to do this, because it's like $2 versus, I forgot how much the ABH ones are. I know they're pretty high though. Now tell me those tones don't look the same. Like, if anything, the ABH is like that much deeper than the e.l.f. one. And for $2, girl, you better go grab you some e.l.f. ones. I know I did, and I can't wait to try these out. Now I can try them in the video because I had them sitting in this box just for this video. I'm telling y'all, like, I be holding and hoarding stuff just to show you all. Next, I have, what is the shade called? And Blackberry. I'm going to swatch it. Now, I'm not sure how Blackberry is going to fare alongside the e.l.f. one. If I remember correctly, I think the e.l.f. one was actually a little bit deeper than Blackberry, so that might work out if you don't like a lighter one, if you will. Good God, the battery just died. Yeah, so the Blackberry from ABH is actually lighter than the one from e.l.f. As you can see, it's giving more of a lighter berry, and I feel like the e.l.f. one is actually giving more true Blackberry shades. So the e.l.f. one, what is the name of this one? Oh, I don't see the name of this one on here. I think it's just on the wrapping and it doesn't say it on here. But this is the deepest like berry tone shade they had. So those are the two I had to talk about. And honey, I cannot wait to try them out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take all these home now so I can try them out during the week. Because I've just been using the what is this? The ones from Juvia's place because they've been in my bathroom. But I'm gonna go all that. So here are all the similarities of whatnot. Sorry I don't have a peaches one to show, but like I said, I wasn't gonna swatch my new one just for this video. So those are all the actual like lip and face products I had to show you all. I'm gonna go swipe these off my hand. I gotta get another battery because it's dying, and then we will get into all the eyeshadow palettes because honey, it's a stack, including the one that's on my eyes right now. So this is the Winter Wonder, sorry, not Winter Wonder, Land of Enchantment from Ensley Reign Cosmetics. But I'll be right back with all the palettes to show you. Okay, y'all, so let's get into these eyeshadow palettes now, honey. So first, underrated versus overrated. I don't know if I did these before, so if I did, my bad. I feel like I didn't know because I don't think I've had this palette that long. I remember decluttering it and then ended up getting it later, and I'm glad I did since they got rid of all of these palettes. So they're not exact, but they are similar, and I feel like they'd be good companion palettes. Oh crap, I think y'all, my blue shade is trying to break, which I'm not feeling. So let me pat it on around a circle and see how that's going. Hold please. Random side, and look how gorgeous that shade is while they're getting rid of shades. Just show what they think. But yeah, so I'm trying not to hold this up to where it falls out or anything, but here's what it looks like alongside this palette. As you can see, they have like similar color stories. It's just I feel like this pulls a little more green and they put a little bit more turquoise in this because it's called electric turquoise. So I feel like it depends on which one you like, but I feel like you don't have too many options. Like you have to get the UOMA one because this one you'd have to buy from resell on my card. It's gonna charge you $1 million, but I feel like they have similar tones to them and enough to where I could, you know, like say that you don't need both, like pick one or pick the other one and go on with your day, girl. But if I had to pick, I honestly think I would pick this one just because if you all remember, I told you I wasn't really a huge fan of this collection. This is like my least favorite UOMA collection out of all the collections they've come out with. So that's what's my personal. Now I got like 3 Beauty Bay palettes that's duping like 3 Huda Beauty palettes. They was like, they just gonna come and dupe all the Huda palettes. And I was like, okay girl, I see you. So first we have the neon orange from Huda Beauty. The tropical palette to me gives really similar vibes to this palette. And if you all remember, this one had pressed pigments and they weren't like, you know, disclosing like they were supposed to. So that's why. So this is what they look like side by side. So there you go. As you can see, really, really similar tones. They managed to put a few neutrals in here because they had more than 9 shadows, but they look quite similar in my personal opinion. So obviously you can't buy this one anymore anyway, but if you like the color story of this, I wanted to show you there was an alternative that exists. So that's the first set. But oh wait, there's more, girl. I told you it's like 3. So next we have the Nude Rich up against the Beauty Bay Rich palette. So again, I feel like this one is definitely giving off the vibes of this palette right here. Like, tell me these are supposed to be similar in tone. I feel like this one gives you a few more neutrals than this one does, but again, there's 12 in here and 9 in here. I like the Huda one better when it comes to the color story just because I don't like a whole bunch of neutrals, so 9 is fine for me because I'm really going to reach for this, and at least it's like very toned neutrals, if you will. So that's what both of those look like. But yeah, like if you don't want to pay the full price for this one, I definitely feel like you could go ahead and grab the Rich one from Beauty Bay. Now please keep in mind, I have not tried to form any of these palettes, so I can't say for sure if it was any one of these in particular you all wanted me to try against another one. You can comment down below and we'll see about that. I'm interested in seeing what the tropical one would look like against the other one. But I got 2 palettes to show against the fiery. So I'm going to show the Dior holiday palette from last year in burgundy neutrals, and then I'm going to show the what is it, Chameleon Wild Obsessions palette. Matter of fact, I'll just show the Chameleon Wild Obsessions palette first since we did all the Hudas. Let's just get all the Hudas done. And it's going against the Fiery 2.0. So Again, I feel like it's giving Fiery 2.0 vibes. I feel like their purple is just like a more muted version of purple, and then she put a bright purple in hers. But a lot of the colors in here are really similar, and then it doesn't have that marble shade. But this one has been discontinued, so if you want an alternative, I feel like this would be good. Just obviously you see the purple isn't as bright, but you know, I feel like it's giving similar vibes, if you would. Now I will show it up against the Dior palette. So we're gonna show it up against this Burgundy Neutrals palette. And I feel like if you cover up the pop of purple, it gives the same vibes as this palette. So let me see if I can. You see, like I covered up the pop of purple, and now both of these palettes look really similar. So it just depends on what you were looking for. If you want it to be more like chameleon like, you can take my hand away and the purple will still be. If you want it to be more like the Dior palette, you can, you know, show that, and there you go. But they both look pretty much the same. So I thought that was interesting that they decided that they were going to come for Huda Beauty and dupe a lot of her palettes this year. So I don't know if like they weren't inspired by color stories or didn't have that many ideas this year as they normally do, and that's why they duped her color stories. But I did want to point that out. So next, underrated versus overrated, I have the LA Girls Break Free palette in the shade This Is Me against the Cosmic Brushes Gothic palette. Now y'all know Cosmic Brushes sells out a lot, which is why I'm doing this alternative. It has nothing to do with me trying to diss Cosmic Brushes or whatever. I just want you all to see that there is an affordable alternative if you can't get your hands on this one, because with shipping, this one is like, I think 30 something dollars, almost 40 bucks, and it's not that it's not worth that. It's just more of if you're on a budget and you just wanted a similar color story, you're not necessarily concerned about the form, and you don't wear colorful shadows that often, then you might want to go ahead and get this Breaking Free palette because they look pretty similar. However, I will say this does have dual chromes in it, and the shades in here are going to run deeper than this one. Like the black in here doesn't run that deep, so the black in the Cosmic Brushes ones will probably run deeper, but you have to keep in mind there's like a shimmer in that one, and I'm not necessarily a fan of the shimmer in it, and I like the fact that this one has purples in it too. I just want you to see that there are alternatives out here. You can buy this on LA Girls website for $15.99 because they stopped selling it at Ulta. They have them at Ulta for a little while, then they take them away and just leave them on their website. So if you're interested in this one, you have to go to LA Girls website, but both of them look quite similar, and I wanted to make sure I pointed it out for the people who were interested. Too bad I didn't put this in like the reel when I did this for this palette, but I honestly didn't think about it. Sometimes, that's why I was telling y'all I want to declutter some stuff, because I'm like, I have so much stuff that sometimes I'll think about it like months later after it came out, and y'all probably be like, girl, we don't even care about that palette anymore. But it's like, I had to show you what I thought about it, my bad. So next, underrated versus overrated, we have the Nightshade palette from Doodles by the Bunny and Gourmand Girls, and this is a Glaminatrix Sugar and Spice palette. So I feel like these look somewhat similar. Now, I'm not expecting you to think they're exact. I don't think they're exact. I feel like they have similar vibes to where I feel like they would both go together. Cause see what I'm saying? Like, you get the blues. I'm starting at the blues. You get the greens. You get the kind of chalky grayish type shades. You still get a couple of the yellowish type shades. The only difference is this special shade right here. And I feel like it looks similar to a special shade that's in this palette. And you get a little bit more neutrals in here than you do in here. But again, there's more shades in this palette than there are in that palette. But I feel like they look somewhat similar. If I had to pick, I would personally pick the Gourmand Girls and Doodles by the Bunny, because I'm just not feeling like the weird neutrality of this along with the pastels. It's not necessarily my whole vibe, but I feel like they could be good companion palettes as well. But I feel like it was good idea to show both of them, so I did. So there's your comparison. Let me put those in the box to be rated this year, along with that other one. Next, underrated versus overrated, I have another Beauty Bay one. Now, the Beauty Bay one actually came out before this one. This is the Warlock palette from Fenty Cosmetics, and the New Mood came out, I believe it was last year, because the new palette they came in with this year, I think, was like Retro Love or something like that. Don't quote me. I feel like that was their signature palette for this year, though. But I feel like both of these palettes look quite similar, which is why I want to show them to you. So as you can see, you have like those fun colors down there, and then those like deeper colors up there. There's a few more neutrals and a little more colors in here than there is in here. But I feel like this could be a good alternative for you, like if you didn't want to buy the Fenty Cosmetics one, because I've been hearing people say they don't like the way the dark mattes work in this palette versus some of her other palettes. That's why I want to show this as an alternative. If you already had it and you were looking to get this because you liked it, you may not need to get it because you already have this one and they look pretty similar. Now, I didn't have any issues with the dark mattes in this palette personally myself. I thought they worked just fine, and the shimmers and everything works the way they normally do, but I've heard a few people say that they didn't feel like they worked the same. So I wanted to give alternative for the people who might agree with them, or who, like I said, already had this in their collection, not to go out and buy this one too, because you don't need doubles, especially when people are saying they don't necessarily feel like the formula is the same. I'm not one of them, but I still felt the need to share. Okay, we're down to the last two. The last two are from Ensley Reign. So we have the Fall Magic from Unearthly Cosmetics versus the Ensley Reign one. I just want you to look into the Fall Magic again to remind yourself if you have the original one. If you have the new one, now these color stories aren't going to be the same. But with the original one, I feel like the color stories are pretty similar. Or at least there's enough tones to make similar looks out of this palette. Now you're not going to get the oranges and the, as far as that bright orange shimmer shade. But a lot of the mattes, in my personal opinion, look similar. Along with some of the shimmer shades like this green and that bluish green, or they both shift to like a deeper tone. A lot of the mattes are similar, like that dark green and then the dark brown and some other ones. So I feel like this could be a good alternative, especially if you don't want to pay the price point of this, because this is kind of high at $88 if I remember correctly. So this one will be more affordable. Now the new one isn't as affordable. Like the new one is $72, so it's like you might want to just go ahead and get this one if that's what you're looking for and you didn't get your hands on this one. But I want to show the people who had their hands on this one already that you do have some similar tones. They're not all the same, but they're similar enough. I'll have a video coming up comparing both of these, because y'all know I love to do my old school versus new school. So old school versus new school on these is coming up. It should come up before this video comes up, so you will have already seen it by the time this goes up. But I did want it to be known that, you know, they do have similar colors to them, and I didn't want anyone to possibly miss out on saving some coins by, you know, trying to buy that one when, you know, you already have one that has a similar color story to it. Y'all, I'm trying to box stuff up as it goes, even though I don't know why, because it's like I'm gonna have to take it out the box again for the ranking all my palettes video. Because yeah, I'm doing the ranking all my palettes like you all requested. I know I had said it to you all and somebody said they were interested. I think a few people said they were interested, so I got to do that. So I'm trying to get all the stuff off the floor. The last two palette comparisons I have, like I told y'all, one is on my eyes, so it's the Land of Enchantment versus the Winter Wonderland from Cosmic Brushes. So both of these I feel like have similar color stories, so I just wanted you all to see, like, if you wanted a more affordable option, that the Cosmic Brushes one exists. I know they did a small restock. Karen posted about it, I think it was yesterday though, so I doubt it's still available. So I wanted to show you all this alternative, even though this one is more, but it does give you more colors, and it gives you 4 holochromes that you will not get in the Cosmic Brushes one. Plus this one is in the US and the Cosmic Brushes in a foreign country, so it might take you longer to get it. I don't know, I don't think this is a pre-order from what I remember. I think it's still available, so you can go ahead and, you know, use a code. I have a code with Ensley Reign, and I know my girl Karen Harris has a code with Cosmic Brushes, so you can use whichever one you want. I'm actually going to do a battle on both of these, so I'll be filming that later on tonight. But I wanted to show you that both of them have pretty similar color stories. My Aurora Struck palette I redid actually has a really similar color story to this palette as well, so you all will see that in the reel that I do to compare both these palettes. But here's what both of them look like. I'm holding up as long as possible so you can scan over all the differences between each palette and kind of make up your decision based upon that if you're interested. But those are all the things I had to talk about in today's underrated versus overrated. I know it was a lot, girl, but you know, like, I had let this stuff sit here for a little while and build up to make sure I had enough to have a decent length video, as opposed to being like 5 or 10 minutes and then another time I had to do 5 or 10 minutes. So these are all the things I had to talk about. Comment down below and tell me which ones you preferred, or if you agreed with my thoughts on the palettes or not. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.